Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to your Thursday night edition of the Low Budget LCS. I blame the teams for using Draft Lull instead of Ducklord's incredible low budget LCS drafting tool because I was not equipped or prepared for this to be the format, and that's why things look maybe a little bit wonky. I'm joined tonight by the fantastic Loki Aurora. Who I can't hear. Uh-oh. I've been having audio issues, chat. So this is on me.
You hear me?
Now I can. There we go.
This is delightful. Oh, you can hear me now. This is fantastic.
Just fixed that. My Twitch stream is buffering, so I don't... It's showing as live. We're not dropping anything, so that's probably just my browser being bad. But actually, no. Oh. Just loading very slowly. I'm going to leave this draft up for a moment while we start a prediction.
The production value on this stream is definitely being held to the LBLCS standards.
Always.
Top notch on this evening.
It's one of my favorite parts of the low budget LCS is, you sprint up the hill coming from work. Okay, we are going to be somewhat into the game when we get into the game. Just FYI. You can put your schmeckles out there. I will be taking us live into the game. Stuff has already happened. I am a Pacific time gamer. Sometimes that works to my advantage. Today, it works to my distinct disadvantage, unfortunately.
We will only hold you to it. It's fine.
Yes. Okay. Can you see my stream?
It is loading. However, it is pretending like it's going to do something, and I do. And we immediately go into top lane shenanigans.
Yes, okay.
That actually resulted into a kill.
I'm leaving the stream in the dark for a couple more seconds so that the prediction can run down in case anyone wants to bet schmeckles. So we're gonna hold off right now.
All right. Okay.
Acclimatized. Now, I am mildly concerned that, at least on my end, I'm just seeing a spinning wheel for the stream pretty consistently. If there's anyone in the chat, like maybe a low budget LCS account that's watching that can tell me if y'all can, if like it's there, I guess nothing's moving on the stream. Who died? I ain't saying shit until that timer's run out. And I know Loki isn't either. Okay?
I'm not. And I'm not predicting either, so you can't see where I put my schmeckles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm holding myself back. There are things happening, though, I will say, and champions are moving around the screen.
Yeah, so let's talk about the draft a little bit, because I know you and I both... Well, you actually prepped for this. I just have the advantage of playing in this league. So let's talk about what these teams ended up getting and what you think that's going to mean for the game without actually knowing what is happening in game. As I am going to go ahead and switch us over to being live in game. As we are going to see a big talk going up, and Billy Willard is going to go ahead and take down TLG Talks. And now we can talk about the draft.
All right. Well, one thing I did notice in doing my prep is that Shen had been banned a lot. And with a 5-1-0, as we see going into this, I do see why the Shen was banned, because he's clearly dominating this top lane with it, even with occasionally leaving lane in order to ult. His turret is in pretty good shape, so he's been able to get back to lane pretty well as well. Oh my gosh, the damage on that Alawi is insane.
Yeah, has that Sheen completed already? As we can see, KFC are off to a bit of a start with the majority of that lead coming from seemingly just Box Your Squirrel here in the top lane on the Shen. unfortunately, we weren't able to see what has led to this particular performance, but...
I am going to venture a guess, though. I'm going to guess that Doggies attempted to do some
TSM
things.
Baby Girl taken out. Oh, and now we're seeing a big taunt's going to come through from Billy Willard onto Doc Respawn. Flash away, W goes the distance, but here comes the Galio charging in. Piglet's going to be in trouble. Ad Aspera might go down. Piglet going in. Piglet almost able to take down Perky, but it's not quite going to be there. Please continue.
Oof. Well, what's happening in this game so far? I'm guessing what has happened is Doggies tried to do stuff, and Nocturne with a semi-global and Shen with a global ult showed up and flexed numbers around and won the encounter, and things have started to snowball since.
Yeah, I do actually see a lot of the...
and Galio semi...
Respawn, but here comes TLG Talks. He's going to be able to stun up at Aspera Astra. Now, Box Your Swirl coming in with the ultimate, so TLG Talks is just going to move away. That is going to leave Alawi alone with the top turret. Based on what we're seeing, it looks like Grubs have been traded for Dragon. 6 Grubs for the side of KFC, 2 Drakes for the side of Doggies. I would imagine that KFC won Warfare. They did, actually, because there's only 1 kill on the other side. So that means the next objective to fall, if it goes to KFC, will mean that they get feats. However, if they can take the first turret and get the next objective, Doggies can still get the feats, as we are going to see Alawi in a little bit of trouble here. No mana available. Perky's just going to pick that one up.
And actually, very interestingly, on KFC, everybody but Alistar has a big ult that can send them across the map.
That's
so the mobility on that team is incredible.
Yeah. I tried playing a comp like that once on LBLCS stream, and we got absolutely bodied.
Couldn't keep track of everything, and people went in opposite directions, and it was a disaster?
I think it was a little bit more what we call Ooga Booga, where the enemy team just grouped up as 5 and just was like, okay, well, use your globals, huh? It doesn't matter. Then,
can't pick us off if we're all together.
Yeah, and they had stronger team fight, so it was a bit unfortunate. But yes, to the point of what you were saying, I am also noticing now, after the fact, is we're going to see a taunt going here on Baby Girl. Is just going to be a little bit of poke, though. Vexrax does have a lot of assists, 8 out of 12 on this Alistar, so has definitely been involved in some of those skirmishes where Shen is getting the kills. So it is probably an instance where Shen is ulting bot lane, maybe going back to... Oh, I was going to say TPing back top, but doesn't have TP. Big E, incredibly low, but is going to heal off of some of those tentacles. TLG Talks, looking to defend the top lane.
Volibear looks like they're keeping going, so there might be more
happening. There goes the
there.
instant engage that the Nocturne enables. Perky going to pick up another one there onto TSM Baby Girl. And now the ultimate from TLG Talks is going to take down Box Your Squirrel. That's going to be a good chunk of money going over to the side of Doggies, as Billy Willard's left to defend this bot turret.
And the first part of their way back into getting feats has happened with them getting turret.
Bramwell went through as well. TLG Talks is going to be bonked up, but is a Volibear, is under turret. They are going to go for this, though. Vexrax is tanking, and he's got that Alistar damage reduction. Perky picks up another kill, 6-0-1 on this Nocturne, and they are going to get feats off of this Herald.
That is a terrifying assassin on that team. Goodness.
Yeah.
All right. The mid lane is going fairly predictably for Victor into Galio. I don't know at what point Victor's going to have enough damage to actually end the Galio.
Yeah, Victor definitely scales quite well, so seeing that he's got the 141 farm does feel good if you're on Doggies. Obviously, the gold disadvantage not actually as high as I would expect for it being a 13 kill differential. There's about 3k gold separating these two teams.
Yes.
Which...
you can definitely see the time that Shen has spent away from the lane in that CS difference in top. And I think that's a pretty good portion of what we're seeing.
Piglet might be in a little bit of trouble here. Vexrax closing in. Ultimate going to be utilized to grab space from the enemy ADC as Nocturnal was popped, but no vision. Going to be on the ADC. Stunned up under turret, but there goes the Galliard. Gives you those additional resistances. And that's a lot of the globals used there for the side of KFC with not much in return.
It is. However, they did chunk out a lot of health bars, including that of the Vulgar Jungler, so they should be able to take this Drake for free.
Yes. They trade the ultimates, not getting kills, for their Drake pressure. They are going to happily snag up their first Drake of the game.
Well, that is a Tristana in the mid turret.
It is a Tristana in the mid turret, and it looks like Doc's Doggies are all sort of collapsing here. They might be looking to take some kind of fight after the dragon. TSM Baby Girl is going to be engaged on there by Vexrax as Shen ult comes through. Dr. Respawn is going to use the ultimate, as now there's going to be a nice gravity well. Going to keep them stunned up for now. Piglet gets demolished, though. And I don't know if... Oh, Victor's ult already used. So, not too much more can happen.
Goodness, there's been so much happening that I feel like we haven't even caught up yet.
I know, I'm like trying to have a coherent conversation, and then KFC say, no. It's time to fight. As we are going to see...
Yes, every single time. Again.
Another little bit of a fight here in the bot lane. Billy Willard going to engage there onto the Alawi. Alawi not going to use the ultimate just yet. Now is going to slam it down and try and survive through these three folks. As the tentacles do come down big, that's quite a bit of healing, but is it going to be enough? Vexrax gets taken incredibly low. Big E takes him down. That's 540 gold into Big E's pocket. Now Perky and Billy Willard find the kill on the back end, but that's a really nice shutdown
that's fantastic.
for... I'm sorry for abbreviating your name. It's Big E 8003.
Could we see items? Did they have any grievous wounds and heal cuts to go into that Alawi? Because it did not look like it.
I don't
and
think
no, they
do
not.
Any heal cut purchased yet for either side, as we're going to see taunt up there from Boxer Squirrel, but the stun going to land. Just going to be vibing for now.
Shen looks close. Alistar could be close as well. With the cloth armor.
Hey, but you never know. That could be anything. That could be anything cloth armor related.
It could very well. However, with how that fight just went, that would be my first guess of an item.
Nice buffer there with the W from Piglet, but is it going to be enough? The ultimate buys the space. Exhaust dropped as well to keep them alive. Now, passive is going to be on Ad Aspera Astra. Aspera at Astra, but here comes Perky into the back line, and now Piglet's going to be in serious trouble underneath the turret. But that volley bear is going to be quite big. Can they finish him off? Nice CC chain coming out here from Billy Willard. And TP finishes there for TSM Baby Girl, but that's not where you want to be. Vexrax's going to go in. Billy Willard's going to dive in. And it is a beautiful orchestra of crowd control coming out from the side of Team Fried Chicken.
They got a second charge off of that Herald. They're getting a third charge off of it. And at 20 minutes, they are on the base turret in that mid lane, which isn't crazy. This game is really starting to spiral quickly.
Yeah.
This is going interestingly, though.
Yeah, the Alawi has scaled somewhat. Boxer Squirrel no longer quite able to hold their own in this. Oh, the flash taunt underneath the turret is absolutely disgusting. Just as I say they can't hold their own, Boxer Squirrel says, hey, hold my beer.
There are now 2 Bramble Vests on that team.
Yes, after that display of ultimate
And I do believe we just saw a great result from that Bramble Vest on Shen.
Yeah, 500 already.
Yep. And that amount of health would have probably changed that outcome.
Mm-hmm. Caster Curse. Hey, whoa. That's a big elevation there, Praetor, okay? I don't know what a Caster Curse is. I'm gonna be real. I didn't
curse. I just predicted they would make those items, and they did actually buy those items. That wasn't a curse.
True. Now, we do see one way that I think that Doc's Doggies can get back into this game, and that is through Otacon. So, one thing that is, I think, somewhat lesser known about Otacon is Vexrax might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to get stunned up, but, is Alistar. so does not take a whole lot of damage, as now Perky is going to be on to the ADC in the backline, and they're using Shen. They're going full submarine. There he comes. Volibear is just going to ult and say, I don't want any of this smoke, as Perky goes legendary, and that is likely going to be Otacon for the side of KFC.
We did just see all those globals and semi-global ults. That Alistar Engage was exactly what they wanted to have start the fight off. Use those abilities on the big tanky cow and have it come to naught while everybody else shows up to the fight.
It is a bit of a not very cinematic Engage, quote-unquote, from the stream perspective. A cow walks into the jungle, says, hey, look at me! Come stun me! And then the Avengers
Steak for dinner!
Yeah. But well played, well executed. Vexrax knowing he is safe in the loving arms of his teammates, and they are going to be able to pick up the Otacon, no problem. What I was going to say before that happened was that Otacon shreds a lot of resistances. Big E is about to get the big treatment from the entirety of KFC. He's going to utilize that ultimate, but does get feared. Not going to be able to get off another Tentacle Slam. Perky 11-0 now on this Nocturne.
And I would like to point out the support Galio in mid lane is in fact 007.
Oh, we got a little James Bond action here from Billy Willard. I hear they're casting for the next James Bond, right? Like, that's a current topic of discussion, I think, in pop culture, maybe?
I don't have TV.
Yeah, me neither.
Or social media.
I have one person who I talk to at work about like on trend things, and they keep me current, and that's about it. Ooh, TSM Baby Girl at Astra gonna be here. I don't think I'm gonna pronounce their name right once this game goes golden. Nicely timed W from Aspera at Astra. You'd
Aspera.
think taking Latin, I'd be better at this.
I have 11 years of classical training in voice, so I've pronounced a lot of Latin.
Yeah, well, I also have a decade of classical training in voice and don't remember shit.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely. I was in
I know a lot of masses.
I was in a boy choir for a decade, and then, did stuff in
cool.
undergrad. Yeah. As we are going to see... Coming down here into the bot lane, Big E gonna get a nice big old tentacle slambo bambo. But against the four beefy boys, what are you going to do into the face of Team
He got
Fried
the whole
Chicken?
bucket dumped on his head for that one.
Something popcorn shrimp. Yeah.
I'm starting to see why Les wanted us to cast together.
Yeah, it's fun.
Anyways.
Anywho, so KFC, very commanding lead here, has ballooned that gold lead.
Yeah, only 9 times the kills.
Yeah, only.
Yeah.
So, since this game, not saying it's a foregone conclusion, I've seen bigger comebacks. But
oh, absolutely. And Tristana has her 2 core items, and is holding up on farm. They are still farming fantastically.
Ban Shen?
I think Ban Shen and probably Nocturne. I did see that was what a lot of teams have done against KFC. I now see why that has been done against KFC. They seem to be really, really good with coordinating their global ultimates.
Yeah, KFC have been in the league. I mean, I was talking to you before stream. They were there my first season low budget LCS. And I think they were there before me, so they've been around the competitive scene, or maybe not the competitive scene, the casually competitive scene for a long, long, long time. And I know at least Perky and Vexrax have been playing together for a majority of that time. A number of the folks on this team are a little bit newer, as normally they'd be playing with Earl King, but Earl King is up playing in CEO. Whoa.
Ooh.
But certainly a lot of
We need to send help. Absolutely.
For Earl King?
And particularly support and jungle having good synergy is really the backbone of a team, because those 2 players need to work well together.
Absolutely. As we're going to see the Nocturne ult come down here onto TSM Baby Girl, Vexrax going to fly in. They're all going in there. Global ultimates. mean they can snap engage wherever they darn well please, and they're just going to be taking down this top turret.
KFC have successfully put baby in a corner.
Yeah, Doc Respawn going to be the next target of their ire. TLG Talks coming through. Piglet going to be stunned up. Galley Ultimate going on the back line. Nice front to back. Piglet not quite going to get caught by that taunt, but Big E is going to go down in the meantime. Still alive as Volibear, but Piglet's going to get taken down underneath the turret as Volibear gets shredded as well. They are left alone with the structures, and they go for the jugular.
That was an incredibly decisive win from KFC.
Yeah, I know we were talking earlier. I was completely unsure who was going to win this game. I was entirely uncertain. But KFC coming out very, very decisively here in Game 1 and, showing us why they are multiple-time champions of the low-budget LCS.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to bootleg the draft here a little bit so we can look at this. And let's talk a little bit more about that draft, okay? We mentioned that KFC love their globals. So if Shen is banned, if Galio is banned, if Nocturne is banned, leaves open the Maokai. Other bans there were Darius, who has been a strong jungle pick, could also go top, and the Aphelios. Do you think that poses any major issues for Doc's Doggies, or would you rather just see them ban all the globals?
Definitely take out the Shen and the Nocturne. I think they worked very, very well together, and also Nocturne turning the lights out really makes it hard for Doggies to do what they want to do and see the fight lay out. Shen, he's just phenomenal on that champion, and he has been banned pretty much across the board in all their other matches, and that's why. As for that third ban, they could probably leave in the Maokai because that can be a terrifying pick for them. But then again, I do believe... Yeah. Is Tox the jungler tonight for Doc's Doggies?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Tox has played Maokai this split. So, he could very well play the Maokai himself, which could give him that big ult to go across everything. So that could take care of the Maokai.
True. I don't know if I do.
And I really did like the Braum play into the heavy melee comp. I just think with the Nocturne turning out the lights, it was really hard to angle that shield effectively, or even see teammates to jump to and where he needed to be in order to protect his team.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very... Sorry, my brain's melting. What's your tagline? Hashtag...
NA1?
Oh, you're NA1? Okay.
Yeah, I don't mess with that stuff.
Neither do I.
I'm not in League right now, though.
Oh, right, I'm just streaming to you. That's fine.
Yeah, you are. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't need to... Okay, I don't need to mess with that.
No.
Great.
No. We take out an entire step.
Beautiful. Beautiful, wonderful, awesome. We are just going to get this draft going as they decide what side they want. Oh, that's another question. If your Doc's Doggies here, are you taking blue or are you taking red? Because I do think there's an argument to be made where if there are enough priority picks, that losing one priority pick means you get two. Sometimes, you can do that on red side and get counter, which I think can be quite strong. But if there's one priority pick, like the Maokai, that both teams play, maybe you ban everything that was problematic and just take the Maokai.
Maokai could be a really good thing. I'm not sure what side to pick. There's quite a bit of overlap in the supports champion pool. Both tend to like more of the melee tanky supports. So I don't think there'll be mini bans on that because that would just be silly. The Victor has been contested between both teams. Piglet and Espera Actually, Aspera hasn't played ADC yet this split for them. They've played mid.
I think Aspera's been playing ADC.
Am I going nuts? I did something wrong then. Ignore me.
At least I think Aspera is playing ADC in our matches.
I could have missed them. There was a match that just showed up as the poop emoji when I tried to look at it.
Yeah, that's been happening a little bit.
Yeah, that was exciting. That did limit my research I could do a bit.
Yes. Yeah, in my games against KFC, Aspera was playing AD and played 2 games of Phelios and 1 game of the Jinx.
Okay. Awesome.
So loves them some hyper carries.
Yes, they do. Which makes a lot of sense with the Braum pick as well. Going against them to be able to mitigate some of that pew-pew damage.
Yeah. They are going to be using Draft Lull again, so I apologize for the extreme low budgetness. But I don't have my Draft Lull overlay prepped right now, so I'm just going to roll with this, and we're going to deal. What exec team am I on? I am the jungler for an exec team called Coffee House. We've been here since season 6. We won our first season and then haven't won since. We're shooting this season though. This season's looking pretty good. Don't want to jinx it. I'm worried about another team in this league. If you care about executive, Omega look pretty strong, pretty scary. But I have
on track for playoffs at least.
Yeah. I think. Well, I haven't done the calculations to know if we're locked yet, but we lost 1 series and then we've won all the other ones so far. So
nice.
Pretty decent. As it looks like we are going to get going. Yeah. Big dig secret. Yeah. You guys were the team that I lost to. Mm-hmm. It was a 1-2. We took a game. It was a fun series. I'll definitely be seeing you guys in the playoffs. Right? You better believe.
From the other side of the rift, or from casting it?
Oh, from the other side of the rift.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
All right. I'm so sure.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if I'm not the reason our team's going to make it that far. The rest of the team around me, we're definitely going to go at least 2 playoffs. Omega ripped us. They are scary. Yikes. Don't love to hear that, especially considering we play them next week. But I am loving all of the Executive League love and content this week.
It's Executive Week.
It's Executive Week. Yeah, hit us with your hottest executive takes in the chat. We are going to see the Nocturne instantly banned away there.
That is not surprising to me.
And it seems like KFC are sticking with the same bans, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, Doggies not going to ban all of the problems, because Darius is going to remain on their banned list.
Right.
Okay, so they only ban the Nocturne. So that means Shen is up, Maokai is up, Galio is up.
Okay. I would be quite surprised if KFC didn't pick up the Shen pretty quickly. Unless Doggy is going to take it here. By the way, I am watching the stream for draft. You did not send me the link.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Merci.
De rien. First pick is on the
Tristana. So they wanted to secure that one.
Find a little interesting. Victor, one of those prio picks, going to be picked up next. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be shocked to see Maokai here. I'm expecting to see Shen here.
Absolutely, get some of that big tanky CC front line in. Particularly Maokai does very, very nicely with Victor. Victor's ult can stay on people a very long time with Maokai involved.
Yeah, lots of bonus CC there. They are going to pick up the Kaisa,
Huh.
though. Interesting.
It seems they're both hiding the hands of what they want to do in these games.
A little bit. I would expect some of these more global. I mean, Kaisa's semi-global, but some of these more, team comp defining picks to be coming out early. But it looks like there's enough of them left on the table that each of them is sort of daring the other one to pick them, and maybe has something prepped as a counter.
Azir is really interesting. That Azir ult could easily shove Kaisa out of the fight when she goes in.
Vi also has been a pretty hotly contested pick here, as I realized, I never preheated my waffle iron. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. In case someone wants a waffle. I want a waffle. So.
There's the Shen. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I do like the Vi here from Doggies. A lot of single target lockdown means you can identify a carry threat, especially early on when maybe the tanks are doing slightly less damage. But
such as the Victor. I mean, KFC just made great use of their globals in order to pick out that Victor several times, even when they were safely under turret.
Yeah. So could be a similar situation with the Vi. The issue with running the Vi is now you have to worry about hard farming junglers that can get significantly ahead of Vi just off of farm tempo and out level and then out gank through that. But certainly,
they have banned Wukong.
I'm expecting them to also ban Volibear if they're banning junglers here. That would be my read, because that is Perky's pool to a T. Lil Robot Man is hitting us with the most factual information. Are you familiar with... Oh, they're going to ban the Poppy. Interesting. Are you familiar with Lil Robot Man? I would assume you would be at this point.
Yes, I am, and I absolutely do agree that LeChance licks toes. Thank you very much.
It is the only thing at this point that I truly believe in, is that LeChance licks toes.
It is just a core fundamental fact in the LBLCS, and as long as we are assured of that by Little Robot Man for every single stream, we can go on.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as we're not assured of that, we don't go on. Gonna pick up the Xin Zhao here for Perky.
Ooh, I really like that to dissuade the Vi and Tristana from jumping into team fights.
Azir as well, sometimes gets in there with his Q. Is his Q the dash, or is his E? No, his Q's the dash, because W soldiers, Q's the dash, E is dash to the soldiers, yeah?
I will take your word for that. I have never played that champion.
Bet. Okay, someone in the chat tell me if I'm completely wrong about Azir, please. We're going to see the Nautilus going to be picked up. Again, a good amount of single target crowd control, so they're looking at Victor, they're looking at Kaisa, they're saying, if we can blow one of you up... Ooh! Ooh! That's fun.
Did not see that coming. Okay.
All right, talk me through Singed. What does Singed do to the game? What is Singed doing in this game? Azir E is dash. Great, beautiful. But his Q is what sends the soldiers forward. Yeah. Gotcha.
Singed is chaos. Singed will run around a team fight, probably with Rylai's, doing second-by-second damage, pulling people out of it, creating a massive disruption, and being pretty darn hard to kill. Or, Singed is going to forever split push against this Shen, be able to clear a wave super fast and get a lot of split pushing power. Singed is one of the original champions really known for proxying waves and throwing macro to pieces.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see how Perky decides to play this. He's going to go for a couple of those maybe a free Singed kill or two, or is it not going to be worth it with his farm tempo? If you let the Singed get to the late game, it becomes such a strange thing to have to deal with in a team fight, because you're going to be like, okay, we're playing 5 versus 4, and then the little green goblin man's going to come out of the corner and go, no! and flip your 80 carry into this poison cloud. And now all
and
of
put
a sudden,
the slowing field in the middle of everybody.
Yeah, It's not a good time. Late game Singed, not a good time. But
I wonder if he's going to go a more damage heavy or a more tanky build. What do you think with their team comp? Do they need more tank than the Nautilus Vi?
I think Singed is going to do Singed things and is probably going to get a mix of like health and I don't know, what does Singed build these days? Let's look up some Singed
Roa, Rylai's, Leandri's.
Okay, so pretty AP heavy, but with that health in there.
There has been some discussion of Shirelia's on him.
Okay, we've been seeing that with the Cho'Gath.
And also it's really good on Anivia.
Mm-hmm.
That's fairly new. Sorry.
Interesting. Good on Anivia. Huh.
Yeah, because it gives every stat she wants and helps her move around. Because that is her biggest weakness, is being low mobility.
Interesting. Yeah, I can totally see that. I'm going to start up the prediction here for this game. They are being wonderful people, and they are staying on the same sides. Now listen, you do whatever's good for you. If you're in-game and it's being streamed, we want you to have the best chance of winning possible, because that makes for the best stream. However, there is a small part of my heart that loves teams that don't switch sides, because it's a little tiny bit less work on the production end. So, do with that information what you will.
If it were up to me, I would say switch sides every time just to make them do more work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Wonderful.
It's your first time here?
Yo, welcome,
Hello.
Death's daughter. This is the Low Budget LCS. Thanks for being here. We are a recreational beer league for League of Legends. You are currently watching the Executive League, which is our second highest tiered league. Folks around here are typically plat through diamonds, couple masters spattered in there.
Theoretically, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, theoretically. This is the team's Team Fried Chicken, or KFC, versus Doggies. Doggies, actually, for those of you who do not know, features a League of Legends personality named Doc Respawn, who I believe is a physical therapist who has worked with several of the major LTA orgs. And whenever I'm streaming, I make waffles. So that's a waffle for you. There's a little introductory welcome.
Well, congratulations on getting Masters.
Yeah, I'm not going to think about that, Praetor, going into playoffs against you. You in my mind. No, congrats. It's an incredible accompliment. Genuinely.
Just grab those coattails and keep going, dear. You'll do fine.
We're going to have draft getting underway here. Excited to report everything is going exactly where you'd expect it. We're not going to see any kind of Vi top Singed jungle action. I would never put that past someone in low budget, but
I would say that's probably more likely at an economy level.
Listen, I think, counterpoint, it's more likely at the CEO level. CEO teams...
I have Luffy on my team.
Yeah? Okay, fair.
Things get wild.
Now, this is the same Luffy that their name is not a reference to One Piece, correct?
Yes.
But I always say that their name is a reference to One Piece.
I believe it's closer to Luffy.
Oh god, yeah. But I think it's funny to pretend like it just is a reference to One Piece instead and watch them spiral.
It doesn't take much. It really, really doesn't.
Do we have toppings?
Just one relevant question will usually send them spiraling.
So what I have on hand are Christmas-themed nerds. I could go raid my pantry. I probably have frozen blueberries that would do okay.
Oh, that
But
would be nice.
I do need to go to the grocery store, so I don't have a ton of stuff. I think I have chocolate chips.
Have you gotten marshmallows? Mini marshmallows?
So marshmallows don't do great in a waffle iron. Fun
They
fact.
burn?
I've tried this before. It's more interesting than burning. So what happens when you put mini marshmallows in a waffle iron is they fully melt away, leaving little pockets of like caramelized / burned marshmallow. So you don't actually get any marshmallow in your waffle. You just get little sugar voids.
All right, and how do you think nerds would be any different?
So nerds have the advantage of being denser than
Until they get heated and
marshmallows.
turn into what state of matter?
Liquid, but that only happens at the periphery of the batter. In the center of the batter, as evidenced by chocolate chip waffles, where you can actually, if you throw them with a little bit more force...
Chocolate chips have butterfat in them, which changes their melting properties.
But chocolate chips also don't burn when they're not at the periphery, which is similar to, I can do a Nerds waffle and not have the Nerds burn, because one, they are a denser format of sugar, so they don't take up the same amount of volume, so when they melt, they will leave a far more concentrated point. There's not a lot of extra space for the sugar to go, and because the heat then diffuses through the waffle and is essentially like steamed, if you're not on the exact edge, they just sort of get melted into the batter if they're not in contact with the heating element.
So do you like pour a bit of the batter, then sprinkle the Nerds, then cover them with more batter?
That is one way to do it. The way that I prefer to do it is to put down your batter layer that you want and just yeet the Nerds a little bit hard so that they have a little bit of momentum to get in there and not be sort of there. You could also just lay down the batter, lay down the Nerds, wait for the Nerds to sink a moment, and then close the waffle iron and flip it.
That would be good. You could also make banana waffles, do a little bit of batter, then put down slices of banana and a swirl of peanut butter, and then a bit more batter on top of it, and do that.
See, now, unfortunately, you've brought poison into the mix.
Are you not a peanut butter person?
Who is allergic to peanut butter.
Okay, well, I will ignore all strawberry things, because that will kill me. So, between the two of us...
Yeah, no PB&J sandwiches for us.
Yeah, no. That day at school was never a good day for me.
My allergy to peanuts is not deadly. I just avoid it because it is an allergy, and you know, I have people in my life that would
full hives, fever, crazy stuff as a kid, and now it's just an asthma attack, so I carry an EpiPen for when I can't breathe. Yay!
Yay!
I don't swell, I just can't breathe.
I mean, that's the bad part, is the not breathing.
Yeah, overrated though. But we are into games, so let's see if we get any level 1 shenanigans.
You heard it here
I do think Nautilus has a pretty good advantage for level 1 shenanigans. Although KFC is running top lane together as 4.
Yeah, 4 stacking with Big E might be in trouble here. They've seen Big E walk into the bush. Sorry, Big E 8003. Walks your squirrel, heading up the front. Vexrax thinking about it. I know Vexrax is thinking about it. Come on.
Absolutely.
I know you took...
Come on.
I bet Vexrax took Hex Flash. Come on. Come on. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now flash on him. No.
Oh.
I'm going to have words with Vexrax after this game, okay?
That was so disappointing. And also, the team with Nautilus 5-pointed.
Yeah, it is interesting.
So really, I'm just disappointed in both teams.
True. Yeah, disappointment all around. What are you guys doing? Come on.
We want shenanigans. We didn't get to see early game last time, so you need to make it up for it this time.
True. You need to make up for me being late because I was still at work. That's how this works.
Absolutely.
Now, can anyone in the chat help me, or maybe can you help me? I have no idea how Shen goes into Singed. I bet Shen's not happy, but I'm not sure. We are going to see Crashdown coming here from Vexrax. Doc Respawn going to be in a little bit of trouble. Is going to be half health, but does manage to find the Dredge line. Now Piglet trying to do damage onto Vexrax, but Dr. Respawn flash forward. First blood from Aspera at Astra. Now Piglet going to be in trouble. Vexrax finds the flip back. Does not have level 2. Barrier going through. Going to be able to stay alive, but wow, an aggressive start coming out from KFC's bot lane.
That was a really good turnaround because Piglet and Dr. Respawn were in that bottom bush waiting for them to come into lane, and it did not go according to plan.
Okay, I need your help. Someone in Twitch chat is giving us advice on how Singed lanes go, but I don't know how I want to pronounce that name.
Oh. Gumpy. We're just going with Gumpy.
A Gumpy.
Yep, that's it. Either that or they're the OG.
It's pronounced Bob. Yeah, bet.
Alright, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. We're going to see a little bit of an invade here coming out from Perky, but Perky's going to be quite low. Now, going to be on the ankle. TSM Baby Girl and Billy Willard coming here, but TSM Baby Girl makes it first. Takes down Perky the Parrot.
Buff transfer complete.
Actually, I only just realized that. Perky of KFC fame, and now Big E might be in a little bit of trouble. Shen getting those empowered autos. Flash forward. Ignite going to be dropped. I think it's going to be enough to take him out. But Flash from the Vi clinches the deal on the other end. And you get the assist gold, so technically that's more gold into your team's pocket, because if there's no one assisting, you just get a reduction in gold overall.
There's so much going on back and forth here already.
Yeah, TSM Baby Girl does have those two buffs, Vexrax and Aspera at Astra, or maybe I can just say at Astra. Ooh, nice dredge line there from Dr. Respawn, but Dr. Respawn, you're going to have to be very, very careful. You are level 1!
Ooh, that was not a dredge line you wanted to take.
Yeah, Vexrax going to claim
the hook was a bait.
Warfare there for the side of AFC. But
and I do believe Vi actually managed to go in and steal Kentucky Fried Chicken's blue buff away, and that's why she already had Vi had the double buffs.
I was so focused on bot lane, I didn't even pay attention to the junglers. Shame on me.
I'm not sure, but maybe Bob can tell us.
Yeah, can you tell us, Bob? Saying the Singed lane goes miserably. I want to see the Sinister proxy farming. That's what I want to see.
I would imagine that would be harder at this level of play than in a solo queue, where there's less coordination.
True.
However, I would also like to point out that these double buffs on the Azir are making Victor's mid lane very uncomfortable. Very low mana pool, and Azir's fine, really.
Yeah. I mean, healing on the autos, has infinite mana, can cast spells whenever they want. So TSM Baby Girl just going to be happily pushing in this mid wave. As we are going to see Vi actually starting up the Drake here early. This is a sort of high-risk, high-reward strategy as a jungler. If you have the push and can do it, it's fantastic because the enemy team cannot respond with a cross-map play. However, you are very, weak early levels, and Dragon does do damage then. And not that it doesn't do damage other levels, but it's, much less.
But Vi's ability to pop over that wall and sneak it works out.
Does work out, and you have that attack spirit on your W, so you actually have pretty decent sustain damage. Ramping attack speed works well with your jungle pet. And does a good job and gets that first objective with no answer. We are going to see Big E in a lot of trouble here. Flash forward, Vexrax does not find the stun or the crash down. Big E is just running around trying to get this wave. They know that they are dead, but can they take anyone out with them? They are just biding time in Alcove Gaming. Boxer Squirrel not quite finding the taunt either.
Chasing the Singed. He's out of mana though, so unfortunately they're able to catch up with him. That was a lot of damage though.
That was a lot
of
damage.
Oh my goodness. If he had had more mana, he may have double killed there.
Yeah, so watch out, because Biggie is coming for you when there's slightly more mana. But,
Yeah. That was so much of a disruption that Doc's Doggies gets the whatever they're called. Oh my gosh, Void Grubs.
They get the Grubbies.
Yes.
And the Dragon. So while the Feat of Warfare has already gone to KFC, one more neutral objective, and Doc's Doggies pick up the Feat of Monster Slaying, I think it is. So
yes. They are very close to even on those objectives.
3 minutes 28 seconds here on the Dragon, 3 minutes 30 on the Grubs.
Your assumption that Vexrax does have Hex Flash is correct, and also Vexrax jumped out of a bush with vision, so Piglet knows they're there.
What did I tell you? I know this man. Okay? I know Vexrax as well as I know my own sister. Okay? That's what I'll claim right here. And he is definitely going to agree with that 100%. We do have a little bit of a gold lead here for the side of KFC, but certainly nothing like it was in Game 1. Seemingly, Shen does have that ultimate available, and we are seeing quite a bit of strength here. So, from the bot lane. I'm interested to see if we're going to get Shen ult here on a bot play, or if the Singe is going to be able to be pushing, like he is now, all these waves into turret, preventing Shen from sort of leaving that lane.
Boxier Squirrel is crying in this lane. You just saw it. Singe just making him cry.
And now, I'm conflicted, because I don't want to see Boxier Squirrel cry, but I do want Doc's Doggies to win this game, because I want a Game 3, because I'm selfish like
that. Game 3 would be fantastic.
But yeah, gosh, look at how quickly... Ooh, we are going to see the ultimate come out from Vi in a shuffle. Here comes the ultimate, but it might get canceled by the Singe. We're going to watch and see if he pops out. He does not! Big E 8003 successfully cancels that ultimate, as we are going to go instantly to a play in the bot lane. Dr. Respawn going to be caught up there by a huge crash down. Perky coming in for the lane gank, and that is going to be absolutely clean. But very well played there from the side of Doc's Doggies. Beautiful coordination with the top lane, with the mid lane. Big E going to be in a little bit of trouble potentially now, but is a Singed and can just run. And is back. Boxier Squirrel chased a little bit and is going to be somewhat low health as a result. But this ADC for the side of KFC is yet again scary. Slightly more CS than their lane opponent, but also critically up 2 kills. That's about 1,000 gold lead, and they have a cull in their inventory that they have not yet cashed in on.
Which is very scary. I am also going to compliment KFC on making that great cross-map play when their mid laner got targeted like that. Making sure they had numbers advantage in that bot lane, and were able to get that play for another kill on their ADC.
Absolutely. Vexrax coming in now, going in hot, not quite going to be able to find the crash down. Does actually get a stun and a little bit of damage. Aspera taking a lot of damage underneath this turret, and he is going to be shut down. Piglet going to be forced to jump out of there, but TLG Tox is here, and Vexrax is going to die as well. A nice counterpunch here from the side of Doc's Doggies.
Great play by Dr. Spawn and Piglet there.
You know what I want to compliment there most for Doc's Doggies? I'm so proud of TLG Tox. Because TLG Tox just queued the wave and did not auto-E the backline and take all of the casters away from Piglet. And that takes a remarkable amount of restraint. Oh wait, Docs did not win game 1. My graphic is wrong. Whoopsies!
Sammy, you are fantastic at holding us to a higher standard.
We are going to see a play here in the mid lane. Nice knock up. Going to be going there over on to Billy Willard on the Victor. And Doc's Doggies now sitting pretty comfy up.
Here's your proxying starting.
Yeah, Big E going to start hitting that wave. Has that mask. Is going to be going for the Leandries first. Just picks up that wave. But Vexrax is going to be here. However, that does mean that TLG Talks are going to be picking up the feat of Monster Slaying here on the Dragon. Unless Miracle could be pulled here by Perky, but Aspera at Astra going to be forced to use the ultimate. Piglet jumping forward, not quite able to pull the distance, but Dr. Respawn is going to have another hook again. Can Aspera dodge it? But we are going to jump over to Perky, engages onto CSM Baby Girl, and Kaisa's going to be safe.
So we are just waiting for that first turret take to see who gets feats this game.
Yep.
Any predictions on which lane it'll be in?
Top lane or bot lane? Either Singed is going to shove so many waves into tower that it is going to be all ogre for Boxer Squirrel, or Kaisa and Rel are just going to crush their lane opponent so hard as Magnet Storm underneath the turret takes down Tristana, and now they're left alone with that turret, so they're probably going to pick up a plate or two.
Vexrex did a beautiful job setting up that kill.
I mean, just
really?
No fear diving towers. We are going to see Perky looking to invade here onto TLG Talks. TSM Baby Girl could come here, though. Perky going to be fighting. Dodges out, but there's into the face of TSM Baby Girl, but a nice blast cone that I think was proc there. Perky going back in, wants the blood! But they end up shedding their own. Now in trouble is Billy Willard. His Boxer Squirrel is here, but it might not matter. Does find the taunt flash and uses the ultimate to get the shield onto Billy Willard. Is it going to be enough? No! The Singed Poison burns him down, but Vexrax finds a nice little stun there onto TSM Baby Girl, but held the entire time was the shuffle of Shurima. And now TSM Baby Girl going to be picking up one more for the road. 4, 0, and 3 on the Azir.
And Singed has gone for upfront damage in this build with the Leandry's first item.
Yeah. And this is looking like a very competitive game. Spera going to be in trouble. Piglet jumping in, has that bomb on them, uses the barrier, but it's not going to be enough. That is the Tristana burst damage that you are looking for. And now you have
fantastic CC train setting that up. They knew that Rel was not there and able to protect the Kaisa and just went in utilizing their abilities in order to pick up that kill. Great play.
Really, really nice there. You can tell that they're not giving up. They have fully bounced back from game 1, and they are up.
They really have. 3K.
3K? Just about. And,
just about? It keeps fluctuating.
So game 1, it wasn't as much of an issue because they ended up with the lead. But now we're in a situation where Doggies up a significant amount of gold, 2 dragons in their pocket. They can stack this soul very quickly. And one of my favorite fun facts, yeah, please keep me on track, Sammy, is something I just completely forgot because I got distracted. Beautiful.
That's perfectly alright. I believe half the people in this community have ADHD. And if you haven't been diagnosed, have you talked to your PCP yet?
I'm working on it. We are going to see Boxer.
I got diagnosed a year here. Singe died.
No,
it was painful.
Singe killed.
Oh yeah, Singed killed. Shen died. Sorry, S name top laners.
Oh.
I mentioned I have ADHD. Oh. That is a pig on a stick.
That is a pig on a stick. But TSM Baby Girl, the big bad Azir, is going to be here. That's going to be a nice dredge line. And going in is Baby Girl. Baby Girl taking a lot of damage, though. The bot lane are nothing to sniff at. Is going to get up this turret, but it's not quite going to be enough. It's not quite going to come online in time to do the damage that you need to Aspera, to Perky. And fun fact about Perky, actually, Perky used to go by Perky the Parrot. And, if I remember correctly, I believe used to be an ADC player. But, where do you find parrots? You know? In the wild?
North America, South America, Australia. I believe there's some African. Yeah, African greys.
What kind
pretty
of,
much every continent.
Environments?
Temperate to tropical.
And would that include
most
jungles,
of them?
Perhaps?
That would be tropical. Although there are icy jungles as well. Like, did you know Oregon's technically a rainforest because it's based on precipitation?
I do. There's I really want to go visit it. Mount Ho is a temperate rainforest. It's a part of Olympic National Park. And I think, actually, Way Too Large has been there, as we are going to see Perky in a little bit of trouble here. Tristana jumping over, but Oh, there's the Singed grounded. Here's going to come the Shen ult. Vexrax getting a nice Magnet Storm to do a little bit of peel, but Aspera is going to be in a little trouble. Perky goes on a killing spree, but this is a very, very messy fight. Big E is drawing poison through the entire realm, and now a double kill for the Azir. Flash forward from Piglet, finds a kill, but Billy Willard able to drop the ult. However, TSM Baby Girl and Doc Respawn come here to the rescue and take him down. A triple kill for the Azir.
Doc's Doggies had a great fight there, and Shen wasn't able to do enough with his ult. He did use it there, right? Or was it on cooldown still?
He used it.
Okay.
He used it to shield Kaisa, I believe. Or maybe Perky. One of the two.
One of the two ADCs.
It just wasn't quite enough. There's so much damage coming out here, both from the Azir and also from the Singed flying through that fight.
Who almost has Rylai's complete there.
Yeah.
Has Swifty Boots, Leandry's, and almost Rylai's.
Yeah. Okay, Leandry's done slightly less.
In fact, there it is.
There we go. It is going to be fast and slow you. And run through your whole team.
So he didn't go Roa early, so I wonder what he's going to pick as a third item. Probably
Deadman's?
I would go tank from here.
Has that Winged Moon Plate, I believe is the name of that component. So I think we're working with a Deadman's here. It could also be a Force of Nature.
Deadman's.
Based
Force
on
of Nature.
The damage split of KFC, I would expect a Deadman's.
What if it's Trailblazer to speed his team up?
Oh, interesting. I don't think about support items that often.
I do happen to think about support items.
We already see a huge fight coming out here, but
here.
that's a nice Shurima shuffle. Aspera going to be in trouble, but TSM Baby Girl almost entirely one-shot. Vexrax going to be able to pick that one up on the back end, but here comes the counter engage as Big E is available. Flip through, the poison is shredding, as is Piglet. Doc Respawn standing as a bulwark. Now Big E might be in a little trouble. It does have the flip again. It's so brutal. A triple kill over here for Piglet, and now they're going to be able to march down this mid lane. All four members of KFC dead.
The Doggies have really come back this game and are making this a very interesting series.
It is.
I think your want of a third game is going to turn out.
You know, God bless. So I'm going to make another quaffle here.
Yeah. Couple batter ups redeemed there. Sammy and Yarrow Bloom. Yarrows are beautiful, by the way. I fully support your name. And historically, a lot of medicinal properties.
What are any modern medicines made from yarrow? Or is
I don't know about yarrow, but I know there are several other herbs that we still use some of the active ingredients of. Like foxglove roots. Foxglove are traditionally planted outside of cardiac units because it's digoxin is from the active ingredient in foxglove roots.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I should go plant
some
foxglove.
And, you know, aspirin from willow.
Of course, of course. Sammy, all right. I'll compliment you. Unless you have a compliment you want to do for Sammy. But I imagine this says... Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I guess it's on you.
You want a compliment from me? Well, Sammy, it has been a delight to have you here. I really appreciate you keeping us on track, just as much as I'm sure as the Shen appreciates this singe damage. I love how you keep active in chat and keep us on our toes. Also, it's been great to play with you in these seasons with the LBLCS. We've met several times, and it's always been a blast.
Yes,
and there's a Rift Herald take as well.
We are going to see a nice hook there, but a good counter ult from Perky there. We're going to see the Nautilus and so much distance there covered by TSM Baby Girl. There goes the Shurima Shuffle, and TLG Talks takes down the enemy jungler. Vexrax going to be in trouble now as TSM Baby Girl has managed to weather the onslaught. A huge amount of AoE damage coming out here from Victor. Is going to be able to take one out, but now Piglet jumping forward is going to be able to take him down. Autoed one minion in the middle there, but that's not going to matter. Just...
That was incredible.
Hitting them with the wallets. And
it was without the Shen.
It was without the Shen, and it was without Big E, the Singe there in the bot lane. Vi went Serpent's Fang. Little bit unorthodox. A good pick, I think.
So I've seen that around, actually, on Jin as well, because it apparently guarantees a crit on your first attack.
Huh? Does it?
Does it?
We are going to see a TLG talk. It's going to be ulted on by the Shen. Perky going to be in a little bit of trouble here as they're looking for something. Nice crash down. Nice stun from Vextrax. Is it going to be enough? No, Perky is going to die from the bleed. Can KFC get anything back? Aspera gets absolutely brutalized, and Baby runs through the back line to their heart's content. Vi charges up the Q. Boxer Squirrel going to be in trouble. Piggott goes godlike, and dare I say it, I think we're getting a game 3.
We may be getting a game 3.
Now,
if the Doggies lose, this is in fact a caster curse.
If the Doggies
No,
lose.
that's the item Zin has, the one that crits.
So I know Sundered Sky does a crit. I know that. But there could be some tech on Serpents. I don't know.
Man, now I'm going to have to look this up.
KFC sponsored message from Gatatsu Zero, a member of the KFC organization. Always chases Sanchez. Where to see TSM Baby Girl getting stunned up underneath their own facsimile of a turret. Does quite a bit of damage there to Billy Willard, but yeah. It's taken down.
It is mostly just that shield reaver ability to get through the shields that KFC have.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, Shen has shield, yeah.
Victor has shielding, Kaisa has shielding, I think Rel has shielding in her kit, I would imagine.
She does. Rel also has a shield break in her kit, so she's just bringing it on even shield breaking ground.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of shields on Vi.
It is Dead Man's Plate, by the way.
Woo!
It is not Trailblazer. It would have been fun to have Trailblazer, though.
It would have been fun to have Trailblazer. I agree. I also agree because then I would actually read what that item does.
It does not give you the bonus damage of Dead Man's Plate, and instead leaves a little trail that your team actually moves faster behind you with. So it's very similar to Dead Man's Plate in its stats, except the abilities it has is different. And I absolutely love Trailblazer on champions like Leona or Rel.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, okay, something I was talking about last game, which ultimately did not end up coming to fruition, but that's okay, is the ability for Otacon to flip a game, as we are going to see Perky taken out there by Piglet going legendary.
Oh yeah, waiting for the ahead team to start it and then come in with all your ults and absolutely shred them because you do true damage because all your armor and magic resist is gone. That's fun.
Exactly. If you don't already know, Waffle turned out great. You want to hear some crispness here, actually? You want to hear something? As it does look like Doggies are going to take this uncontested, but KFC can get here. There's a fight to be had. I'm going to wait on the Waffle, as it is going to be taken down. But the feathers are what matter. They're not going to attempt to contest it, as Boxer Swirl is going to have to deal with the Madman. Listen, let me see if I can get this here. Yeah? Could you guys hear that?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
A little Waffle ASMR stream for y'all. Nice and crispy on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside.
Oh, beautiful.
Classic low-budget LCS
I need
waffle.
to make more bread.
Yeah. Are you a big cook bread at home person?
I am.
Oh, that's so
I
great.
make pretty much all our bread.
Biggie is going to be in huge trouble. Ignite going to be dropped into spare, and Astra shuts down the Madman in the bot lane there.
Able to follow with that ult and keep up, only taking a third of their hit points with a bit of poison damage.
Yeah, just a touch of poison there, as we're going to see Doggies slowly bringing in the waves here top lane. They have their Infernal Soul. They're very happy to play this game methodically, play it slowly. They have an 11k gold lead. What's your opinion on Belgian waffles? They're hard to make. That's my opinion on Belgian waffles. They require special ingredients and special consideration that I don't normally have time for. But they are delicious. Counter, and I'm going to say this to the chat, but also to you, Loki, opinion on Stroop waffles.
I love Stroop waffles with the caramel in the middle. They're so good. Oh my gosh. Or I'll use the caramel-filled Stroop waffles to actually make ice cream sandwiches with.
Oh god, that sounds great.
Oh, it's so good with like a deep, rich French vanilla. Oh.
Yeah, if you've never had a stroopwafel, go out and find yourself one.
Aldi has them.
You can make. Well, we don't got Aldi here on the West Coast, so I'm a little.
They're in San Diego. That's where my mommy shops.
Oh, well, they're not in the greater Seattle area.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We have Winco. I will shill for Winco. I used to be an Aldi faithful, and now I don't have Aldi. I shill for Winco.
Okay.
But
Aldi is so efficient to shop in.
Winco is like Aldi. It's like West Coast, I guess Northwest Coast Aldi. It's just a little bigger, but you'd still like bag your own groceries. Low prices, love it.
Singed is doing singed things.
So a stroopwafel
successfully
is a very thin waffle. Vextrack's going to be a little bit of trouble here. Is going to be able to crash down out of that. A very thin, dense waffle that has a layer of caramel in between.
Think of a sugar cone, but flat.
Yeah, that's more accurate than my description.
Yeah.
Big E is just running around. Boxier Squirrel probably going to be in trouble. Ooh, nice taunt under the turret, though. Oh, objective bounty taken away there by Perky the Parrot. Perky the Parrot going to sacrifice their life for it, but it might help. Espera flashing in to try and help their team. Billy Willard trying to do the damage. It's not quite enough. TSM Baby Girl so incredibly low on the back line, as is Piglet.
Billy Willard is the only one left with the Baron buff on him, but the hook finds him and he gets taken down. So, although KFC did steal that Baron, none of them are alive to tell the tale.
Yeah, but if you're Perky the Parrot, you're like, hey, this one ain't my fault. You know?
Oh, yeah,
I stole that Baron.
Perky's like, I did my job. I'm all good here.
Yeah, so find yourself a stroopwafel, okay? And get a cup of tea. I prefer tea. You could do coffee, some kind of hot beverage. You put the stroopwafel on top of the mug. It's designed to go on top of the mug. It steams the stroopwafel and melts the caramel inside of it, and then you eat it. It's so good.
I recommend a Victorian Earl Grey with cream and sugar for that.
I am partial to a more straight black tea. I got a little carried away with a tea from Assam tea. I like it because I think it holds up very well to milk and sugar. But Earl Grey is Earl Grey. Or you can do a Lady Grey if you don't want caffeine,
Yeah. I am a big tea fan. I am currently drinking a rooibos chai as we speak. I have tea every morning. My go-to is Paris Black, which is like Earl Grey, except it has almond and cherry notes in it as well. And then every Sunday we do milk tea, and it's an Earl Grey mixed with Scottish Morn, which is an incredibly deep, malty, bold flavor of tea. And I like my tea very strong.
Oh, wait!
It's
what
good.
is the really malty one again?
Scottish Morn, also from Harney and Sons.
Okay.
I order my loose leaf tea by the pound directly from them.
Oh.
I don't mess with sachets anymore.
I do similarly. I have a bag of Assam tea from my local Indian grocer, and then I have another loose leaf bag of Assam tea that I got given for Christmas, and then I have a tea shop that I buy from back in my hometown that will ship to me. The most fun part about that is that they ship it to you. They're like a wholesale kind of place. So you have like the plastic bag, and if you go there, you like scoop the tea leaves into it. When they ship to you, they just put tea leaves in the plastic bag, wrap that up, put it in a box, and ship it. So I did once get a shipment in undergrad, where this cardboard box shows up to the house, and someone else in my apartment like opened it and was like, "Hey, what's this?" Because it's just a box of
Camellia sinensis does not look like cannabis.
I know, but some people in undergrad are very sheltered, and they don't know what cannabis looks like.
Man.
And that was just
Gosh, nettles look
funny.
way more like it than anything.
I know.
Just have a biologist or any botany student look at it and they'll go, "What are you? No."
Oh, yeah. Well, we are going to be going to a game 3 here. Talk me through, what are your draft adaptations here now if you're Team Fried Chicken? Are you taking the blue side? Are you changing up your bands a little bit? Is that Singed getting thrown out? What's happening?
If I was Doggies, I wouldn't change much of anything. Clearly, the Nocturne band was really, really good for them. The Shen did not have his dive buddy, and that really showed. If I was KFC, I would so ban that Singed. That looked miserable to deal with. Just, that was torture, even from the casting perspective.
Yeah,
Singed did Singed things, and we had to witness it.
Singed did indeed do Singed things. It was a bit unfortunate.
It'll be interesting to see if they change that mid lane pick. The Azir did do very well in the Victor. Part of that was the Azir getting that early double buffs allowed them to just sustain like crazy in that early game, in laning phase. So they got really shot ahead in that. But if you have a game like that on a champion, I know I usually try to look for something else in my pool to pull out next, just for a clean mental slate.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm super excited here. I think we're going to get a very, very fresh draft coming out for Game 3. I think that there might be some stuff harkening back from Game 1. The Shen ultimately did not prove to be the undoing here of Doc's Doggies. So
true, that was a really good read on their part.
I was very skeptical of their draft strategy there, but you know, they pulled it off. They showed me what's what.
Biggie said, "Hold my beer," and went poison trailing throughout the rift, and made the Shen not a big deal.
Yeah. So
I also did notice they focused that Shen more in lane. Vi did end up in top lane a good bit.
Yes, there was an increased amount of pressure. One of the things I like to do against, Praetor Zach, close your ears. One of the things that I do against Shens, if you gank the Shen can't Shen ult the Shen, right? So
yes.
If you gank the Shen, you don't have to worry about the Shen ult. Stacks. Stonks.
And what's really, really fun is actually taking something like TP on support, and you just walk up to lane on about your second back, and you walk into that top lane, and then, I don't know, throw a Leona ult down or something, and then just TP back to your lane.
Oh my god, do you do that?
Not in solo queue.
I think you should. That's great. Oh man. I have been tempted,
pull that out in low gold.
I've been so tempted on occasion to take like teleport smite as a jungler. Even though I know that's bad. Okay? I know.
On a support it has merit, but on a jungler, sir.
Hey, all I need is smite. You know, I'll get move speed from the jungle pet anyway.
Okay. I definitely want flash when I'm on an engaged champion like that, though.
Yeah, it's fair.
So I would not take Ignite. Okay, we have the Kayn banned out by KFC again. It looks like they did opt to switch sides this game, so you can go ahead and get started on that little homework trip. Yeah. And we have the Darius ban coming out of Doc's Doggies, just like they did the previous 2 games.
Boo. KFC. Friendship ended with
and
KFC. Doc's Doggies is my new best friend.
Is anybody surprised that we are seeing a Singed ban out of KFC in this game?
I need to get the draft key here.
And Tristana. Okay, so pretty much everything they found incredibly annoying they have taken out. Singed Tristana. And there's the Nocturne ban coming up from Doc's Doggies, along with a third ban of something. 6 seconds. They're thinking real hard.
What would you be thinking? Aphelios
Aphelios.
Again? Galio.
Oh, Galio.
Oh, okay.
They were thinking real hard. Okay, so two
Victor
of the globals.
Slammed.
Yeah, that's no surprise. That's been a contentious pick.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what Doc's Doggies responds with. They don't have the Singed option this time. They're going with the Vi again. Had a great game on it. Definitely see what they would be running that one back.
Yeah, gotta love the Viol. It was critical in that game in helping Azir get ahead and get as much money as they ended up having that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I love to see it.
Victor is very susceptible to Vialt.
It's very true. Ooh, Vayne. Dylan.
Ooh.
Dylan, we have to go Vayne. Oh, whoa, they lock it. All right.
So that's almost daring KFC to just load up on tanks.
That's saying, hey, can't play tanks now, huh?
Well, they can.
Yeah. I hate Vayne. Praetor Zach, again, close your ears.
Ooh, that's such a
Wukong.
huge amount of disruption.
Yeah, Wukong Aphelios.
On that KFC team.
Aphelios, one of Ad Astra's favorite ADCs. And yeah, Wukong, huge team fighter. Also, I think the only jungler that KFC has beaten me using. So, you know, pretty strong from that perspective as well.
And Doc's Doggies have a killed out one person in particular comp so far.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that one particular person is Aphelios or Victor.
Yeah, Aphelios or Victor. I think the advantage of the Wukong here, the Wukong is going to be a little bit higher DPS and a little bit more team fight oriented here for the side of KFC. So right now there are sort of 3 people that you could Vi ult, which might become problematic here for Doc's Doggies if KFC have enough threats that they can just keep throwing them at your back line and you can't deal with them all. It might be their way to victory here. Azir is going to be banned out here. So there will have to be something different in the mid lane. Usually you see a lot of control mage and a control mage. I could see a Syndra coming out if they play it. There could be something like a Orianna.
Aurora?
Aurora, yep.
Is that going to be top or mid, though?
Could be flex.
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. I do have to say, I really love Doc's Doggies' last 2 bans with the Leona and the Poppy. Because Poppy will absolutely shut down the Vayne, Nautilus, and what they want to do. Even the Aurora has a dash. And the Leona does particularly well into Nautilus and lane. Also, Leona is one of the few tank supports that gives Vayne a very, very hard time because she can just CC that one person down and make their life a living hell.
Also, Vexrax likes Leona.
Yeah.
And we are... Oh!
I did see that. Huh? There's no way.
Is this real?
No. They need no.
It could be TK top.
It could be TK. No.
Is Vexrax going to debase himself to the point of nothing against Yuumi players?
Absolutely not. Because Vexrax has played TK twice so far this split. And the more top makes a lot of sense.
Trying to get on its head a little bit. I wanted to see it, Vexrax. I'll be real. I wanted to see Vexrax Yuumi. I
don't want to have to cast that.
Listen, it could be Yuumi.
That champion doesn't exist for me. No.
I saw a short of Riot August talking about...
I didn't.
They had
a...
Okay. The electric gerbil bringing in some of that team fight power. Listen, TK support, absolute monster. TK is a champion, can be a demon. Vayne, great pick into TK.
Yes.
So...
It's interesting to see TK be picked into Vayne, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's see where y'all schmeckles end up.
So the Aurora is going to be mid. The Kennen top against the Mordekaiser. That should be in fine matchup. Who do you think is the priority for the Mordekaiser ults in team fights? Is it going to be the Vayne, the Aurora, or maybe the Kennen? Or even the Diving Vi?
If I'm Mordekaiser, I'm probably ulting Kennen in team fights. If I can beat him. If I can't beat the Kennen, I'm ulting Vi.
Okay.
The other thing is that a lot of these team fights are probably going to happen around neutrals. That's usually a little bit better than if you ult the jungler as well, because if you can ult them as the objective. Yes.
Jump down to spectate. You're holding up the game.
Ah! Hey, I blame them for not clearing out spectate when I first joined the lobby. No. Or hey, they could just let me play on KFC. I've joked about playing and casting before, you know?
Anywho. I can do one or the other, and neither particularly well, so here we go.
I think that ulting the Vi is a pretty safe bet. Ulting the jungler is usually nice because you can take out the
weak fear the shadows.
Smite
the
during
CC.
The objective. You can also take out the Nautilus. Just remove that sort of front line from the side of Doggies and see how that sort of fans out. It's very dynamic, I think, as you see who ends up with gold, who ends up with power. Aurora could be another option. I do like picking the Aurora while you have the Vi. I think Vi is a very, very good pick into the Aurora, so pairing it with her means that there's less things to sort of neutralize her, especially because Aurora is very good at flanking.
Yes.
These team fights. So that was going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this game turns out. I don't know. Anyone in chat?
Absolutely.
Got any hot predicts?
Let's see. Goodness, there are... You know, I'm gonna play the odds, because the odds look great.
Yeah?
It is currently 1 to 142 for Doggies.
Huh.
I'm just gonna slide in there with a little bit of schmeckles, see if I can get a good return.
Okay.
Update the view, we're seeing the mock draft still?
This is the draft for this game. Oh, you want to see the client, huh? We can look at the client. That's fine. Everything's going where you'd expect it.
Yeah. Don't hover Blitzcrank. Do not mess this up. Okay, there we go.
Wait,
wrong metallic hook champion.
Oh, it was Doggies that was hovering.
Yes.
Interesting.
They're being a bit snarky.
You know, what's a little bit of banter between gamers? I predict Big Frog. Okay, he's a catfish. All right, little robot man. You might be.
He is absolutely catfish.
Licking toes, but when it comes to Tom Kench, he is a demon catfish. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was a frog champion. Okay. Honestly,
I would
give me a Nunu and Willem skin where Willem is a frog.
There is Emilio Froggy skin.
Yeah, but I don't play support.
Go full AP. He has a 100% AP ratio on his Q.
Okay. You heard it here first. If my team's listening, you're gonna experience a game of full AP Emilio jungle in the incoming future. I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
I would like to point out that thematically, Doc's Doggies should win bot lane based on the fact that the Submariner Hook champion is against the Catfish.
Oh, good point. Also, I think canonically, isn't Nautilus, like, absolutely giant? I think that's a thing.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Now, okay. One of my biggest qualms about just, you know,
your existence?
League in general. Yeah, we can go with my existence. That's pretty good. Is the whole lore retcon that they did for League of Legends.
I know!
Okay, I'm so glad you're on board.
I literally ran a D&D campaign in Runeterra, and then they fucked it all up.
Damn. Well, that means
like my whole Yordle thing was just awful, and it now moves around, and it's like a sub-dimension. And usually, I don't like to deal with dimension shifts in my D&D because that gets messy.
You don't like a little planar action?
No, not really. You have one bard, oopsie in the middle of two, and you're done. And it's always the bard.
It's always the bard. It has to be the bard.
It is always the bard.
I played a bard in my most recent campaign. It was fun.
Oh. Jack of all trade, master of none.
No, master of one. Fucking everything up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
Melio top high key broken counter to Camille. Interesting. Can you kick her off the wall? Is that a thing that you can do?
Yeah. You just go poink, and there's a beautiful line where she tells you exactly where she's going to go, and you just go poink.
Interesting. Now I want to see someone pick Melio top. Y'all are telling me all these cool things that I can't.
And then you put the fire on yourself, and your auto attacks deal on hit damage, and your range is extended. Did you know his campfire extends auto ranges?
I did. It's Melio Jinx is a scary proposition. As is like Melio Kate.
Melio level 18 Tristana.
Yeah.
Or Melio 160 stack Senna.
Ooh.
Turret? What turret?
You don't get turret.
Minions? Not needed. Did it die?
No, there it goes. I think I hit my button.
You did a wonderful job, but we are in game now. Do you predict any level 1 shenanigans?
Yes. If KFC don't bring me some level 1 shenanigans, they're dead to me. I don't know what to say. Listen, we've had a good run. Y'all have been great friends, fun enemies.
Doc is on Nautilus again. Last game, they did nothing with the Nautilus level 1, and I was severely disappointed. And from the look of this play across the map, we are getting it again, and I am going to have harsh words for them.
Yeah. Disappointment is really the name of the game. Listen, I get it. Okay, it's a game 3. You don't want your level 1 to mess everything up. But on the other
Although
hand,
you cannot see me, I am looking down my nose and shaking my head.
Just disappointment, you know? You have
it really is. Shameful.
We are going to see Kennen, Big E up there in the top lane. Going to see what they can get done on the... Are you in the camp of hamster or gerbil?
Probably more hamster.
Okay.
Gerbils are illegal in California, so I didn't really get to experience much with them.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there something problematic about gerbils that I don't know?
They breed a lot, and they don't stay in their cages.
Oh, so they're like a pest.
Yes. Invasive species problem.
Oh.
It's like red-eared sliders in every body of water in the continental United States.
Or fucking house sparrows.
Yeah.
I didn't know gerbils were like that. That's fun new fact.
In more deserty areas. And it's a problem because desert ecosystems are delicate.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of resources to go around, so if there's an invasive species taking a lot of resources, then it can have really detrimental impacts.
Dang. Alright, tenants and invasive species, I'm rooting for KFC. There you have it.
Awesome. The undead warlord that wants to kill everybody and take them into their newly created hell that they invented because they didn't like the god of death that was there and made themselves a new god of death.
Hmm.
Have you seen Mordekaiser's new backstory?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It's a little crazy. You know what backstory I miss the most? Fiddlesticks. I miss old Fiddlesticks lore.
Oh, yeah.
Because old Fiddlesticks lore was just that he was this creature that was so fucking powerful and terrifying that they, like, trapped him in this scarecrow body and just forced him to be in the League of Legends on the Rift so that he wouldn't damage the outside world.
Yep. Because a lot of the Champions lore used to be based on the fact League of Legends, like the Rift, was a thing where you could contain powerful beings and keep them out of reality and away from everyone else.
Yeah,
ooh, Nautilus hook goes in.
With a hook is going to have to flash out, though, as that Severum Q goes hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old lore was like, yeah, you are a summoner. That's why, in the game you're like called summoners, and you are controlling these like powerful. It was a whole like thing, and now it's just not.
No.
Hook, this time underneath the turret, Vexrax throwing that Q back though. Doc respawn. Lots of damage.
Showing so much restraint and waiting till on the edge of turret range to do any damage, and therefore not taking multiple turret shots.
But so far, no first blood this game.
Nope.
We're just kind of chilling. We are going to see Perky looking here in the mid lane. He's going to go forward. TSM Baby Girl going to be in trouble. Forced to flash. If Q comes back up, flash forward. Perky might be able to get it. Perky gets the first blood, but are they going to be able to live? One more tower shot is going to mean that Perky does manage to live. Crazy. Delightful. I wanted to see what happened there. That, I did not...
I know. It wasn't interesting. Directed Cam... decided there wasn't going to be another death, and therefore to pan away.
All hail directed camera. We are not worthy.
Capelet is awfully low under this turret, though.
Yeah, early game Vayne, very low auto attack distance. Laning is pretty tough. You do have TLG talks here, but even if the Vi goes in, you're so low, you won't really be able to help there.
Vi is probably just shadowing to make sure no shenanigans happen, and Vayne can pick up that wave and get a safe back off, which she is doing now.
Little Robot Man, as does Sona. There's a couple of champs that still reference the Summoner. Ooh, in League of Legends, we are canonically the Summoner.
Yep.
Shame. I also like Amumu's lore. Sad boy. Sad boy wants dance.
Nothing can top Rammus's lore, though, of, oh no, he's tanky.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, like, wasn't it, like, Warwick and Soraka's old lore? Was that, like, Warwick tricked Soraka and then, like, ate her heart or something? It was a little crazy. I love...
Soraka was a celestial being that came down to Earth and bestowed a gift on somebody. But I don't remember who it was involved with.
Anyone can hit us with the old Soraka and Warwick lore, because I'm pretty sure they were intertwined. I'll be very grateful. So we're going to see KFC bot lane going to be able to crash wave after wave into the enemy turret. We're getting just a little bit of a gold lead here from the CS and turret plate differential. BF sword to pickaxe is going to feel quite nice. Also currently on red, white, don't fight. This time they are going to be able to pick up the first Drake. And interestingly, only one grub was picked up by the side of Doggies, so they prevent the enemy team from being able to pick up that as an objective, but they don't get the full objective themselves. We're going to see Doc Respawn going in here onto Vexrax on the Tom Couch. Doc Respawn going incredibly low, but here comes the Vi. Nice amount of damage, but the red-white is so scary. The Chakrams can build, and it's just not quite going to be there.
I'm sure they were hoping that red-white would go down before they had the time frame to engage.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, these days in the jungle, you gotta keep that shit moving. You gotta get that farm. Because we are gonna see Billy Willard gonna be in trouble, and one auto attack from TSM. Baby Girl takes him out.
Solo Bolo in that mid lane.
We're going to see Vile now onto Asper at Astra, and it gets taken down. TLG Talks pretty low. Perky is going to be able to pick that kill up, and also has the Cyclone going in. Piglet taken quite low, but as is Vexrax. The damage is going down. Barrier's going to be used. A nice Tom Kenchlik is going to slow down the Vayne just enough, and now Doc Respawn go to the last one left. Perky looks for it. Perky finds a triple kill.
The monkey is enormous.
That's a big monkey. Fun league trivia fact. In the API, there are a couple of champs that are not coded as their champion names. It might actually just be Wukong. Do you know what he's coded as?
No.
Instead of being Wukong, he is literally Monkey King in the code.
Oh! Right, because he was based off the legend.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the few champions that actually just directly ripped off a legend.
Yeah. I mean... Oh, we are going to see red-white here in the bot lane, but Astra in the minion wave is going to use that Moonlight Vigil on the Crescendum to get an auto attack there bonus on the Piglet. The Piglet going to be able to get out of there quite nicely. Dr. Respawn forced to use the Summoners. And, ooh, the Chakram don't quite get it done. Baby Girl, that's a dodge there as well.
All right.
Scary. Bot lane, scary. Go to 2 calling.
Yeah, Vayne and Nautilus have spent most of the game so far below half health and tucked up under their turret. So this Aphelios is dominating this lane.
Yeah, 82 to 42 CS here. About a 1k gold differential. I believe
and almost
Aphelios is going to be...
3 plays.
Going to be grabbing that item. I'm looking for this Vi to come down here. We saw it once, actually. They did manage to get the Aphelios.
We saw it twice.
Yes, we did see it twice. And can we see it thrice? Can we see it thrice? What's the word for 4 with that? Quaise?
Quaternary or something? I don't know.
Can anyone give
I just say 4 times.
Yeah, okay. That's the easy way out.
Uh-huh.
Because, okay, there's once, twice, thrice. What's the 4 version of that? Can anyone give me the 4 version of that? Anyone in the chat, please. It's got to exist, right? There's got to be some kind of formula. We are going to see ultimates being traded here in the top lane. Ooh, double stun onto Boxer Square though. Nice isolated decimating smash, and Big E thought they were safe. But the Q damage is so massive when it only hits one target. And the invasive gerbil gets taken out. Our native species hero, Boxer Squirrel. So we are going to see a little fight here in the mid lane. Baby Girl versus Willard.
And another Mr. Ellis says that there is not a thing past thrice.
Absolutely.
And
devastated.
I am thrilled. Ooh, TLG Talks walking into a monkey in the bush.
Yep, TLG Talk's going to be a little bit of trouble. Cyclone going to be used here, but the Vayne Contaminant of the Wall might be trouble. It was a nice 8, and now we have the ultimate coming out. Beautiful from TLG Talks. Huge, huge play here from Doc's Doggies, finding the counter gank.
That TP used by Aurora to get down to that fight and able to pick up that shutdown on the monkey gets TSM Baby Girl a big chunk of gold. And that wave is already pushed up to Victor's turret, so likely Victor's going to lose quite a bit of that wave.
Yeah, and TSM Baby Girl, looking for blood here. Does use the ultimate. Is going to go forward. Billy Willard taking quite a bit of damage. Here comes the Q from the Vi. Is it going to be able to land? It is going to be able to land. Vi will get stunned up, but the kill goes over TSM Baby Girl. So crucial here for Doc's Doggies, but now Perky the Parrot is going to be here. TLG Talks is going to be in trouble. Smite goes down there. Maybe meant to be on the champion. Did hit the big chicken, and now we are going to see red-white going through, but a nice root coming out here. Barrier going to be landed, but it's not quite going to be enough. Piglet manages to get the kill, and now Vexrax is alone. A frog versus a fisherman. I think technically he's a salvage expert. Who, like...
Yeah. Who salvages wrecks.
Well, he was, like, told by the company they had to go salvage this one wreck, and he was like, I don't want to do it. And then he did, and then it got him, I think. I think that's about Nautilus's lore.
He's dead. I know that.
Yes, he is dead. He's a zombie.
Yeah.
Or a ghost, or however you want to spin that.
He is a possessed suit of armor, set on vengeance against the people who forced him into that position, to his watery grave.
Which, honestly, respect.
Yeah.
Good morals, good values. So we're going to see Boxer Squirrel does not blink in the face of Vi, knows that he has the power there. Grab one and do
absolutely. With that ult, he makes it a 1v1.
Yeah, you can't really gank a Mord past 6. It's really hard. Now, Vexrax's going to be in trouble here. No Condemn available to get out of the jump there, so it is going to be good for now. Is forced to use that flash, though. Dragon here did go over to the side of KFC. They now have 2 Drakes, as well as 2 Grubs. So they are going to be looking well on their way to completing the feats of monster slaying. I also don't remember, and as a nice dredge line is going to land there onto Aphelios, but Moonlight Vigil is going to come out, and I don't know if it's good enough. Vexrax, a nice eat coming out there, and a huge shield granted to Aspera as the Aphelios looks to shred through the enemy bot lane, but the Silver Bolts find it! One last fateful auto, and Piglet's able to take him down. Really, really well played there from Doc's Doggies bot lane.
And here we have on Grubs.
Yeah, and able to get the smite off before went into the Death Realm. Vi clutching that smite up, as we are now going to see TSM Baby Girl looking to take out Perky, as Boxer Squirrel comes out of the Death Realm, having eaten the enemy jungler. W might be enough, but it's not there. Vexrax trying to save their top laner. It's not quite going to be enough.
And now it looks like the bunny is stronger than the catfish.
The bunny is quite a bit stronger than the catfish here. The gerbil is gaining money as well. And Doc's Doggies have put themselves in a pretty nice situation here. 0-3 mid.
Is this going to be first turret mid?
It looks like it might just be. TSM Baby Girl, a commanding performance here in both Game 2 and Game 3. They are going to counter the bot lane turret, it looks like, but... Well, they are respecting. Not just going to go for it.
Well, last time they tried shenanigans, Silver Bolts had their way with Aphelios, so I understand their hesitancy.
Get that turret. We do see that Aphelios has a call here, but a little bit later into the game, so that will be proccing at some point. But... not quite yet, as they do manage to crash yet another wave into the turret. So, I don't remember who got Feats of Warfare.
Somebody called it out, and I made a mental note, and that mental note has since been ripped off of the bulletin board of my brain and is gone forever.
Yeah, it tracks. If you know in the chat, let us know, because I don't remember. I wish there was a way for us to keep track of it in the Spectator client, but, you know, League Spectator client. Wu took feats? I'm assuming that's what that means.
Oh, yes,
see the ultimate drop there onto Aspera. Is going to be dredge-lined as well. Piglet going in. Now we're going to see TP after TP after TP coming out here, and we are seeing a 5 versus 4 in the bot lane once the gerbil gets here. Invasive species that he is. Looking to use that Slicing Maelstrom, but everyone under turret for now. Dragon not up quite yet. I feel just tension rising.
Yes.
Because I don't think they're going to let this... TLG Talks going in, ulting in the back of the turret, but that's not quite what you want. Billy Willard takes it down, and that's a dead Vi.
That is a dead vine. That is a Mordekaiser pushing that top tier 2, and mid tier 2 is being pushed by the Kennen. Down under half health already, and Perky.
Oh, Slicing Maelstrom is going to find there onto Perky. Gets the solo. Bolo Big E, though, is going to fall for that one shutdown. Going over to the Monkey King. But, I mean...
Doesn't matter if you know which one is real if you ult them both.
True. And Boxier Squirrel now might be in a little bit of trouble. This bunny is quite formidable. Does have that Death Realm, so we're going to see ult for ult. I do think ult took out the Aurora Circle, but I don't know if it's going to matter. TSM Baby Girl too mobile for the Mordekaiser to deal with, and now we are going to see Piglet in an incredible amount of trouble. Vexrax able to claim that shutdown as the Spera at Astra now moving forward on to Doc Respawn with the Severum Q and gets their first kill of the game.
Vexrax securing that kill on the Vayne, always good to see.
And we are dead even.
We are. There's also a lot of flowers down here that I'm a little bit horrified aren't being picked up by Vexrax. Please do some gardening.
Yeah. What are you doing, Vexrax? Come on. Well, I think the person, isn't it the person who's the worst KDA benefits the most?
Okay, so that was we thought it was a thing. It's not. It's the team's KDA.
It's the team's
It doesn't matter
KDA.
who picks it up.
Interesting.
All right, so I'm thinking, ooh.
Perky going to be in a little bit of trouble, as is TSM Baby Girl, forced to utilize that flash. Big E, looking for a Slicing Maelstrom, not quite able to find it. Members of Doc's Doggies taking quite a bit of damage before this fight, but Perky's also going to be damaged. Piglet frontlining here. And now Doc Respawn going to be able to join. And they're making a call to go for this mid lane turret. Drake spawning, but they're going to just say, okay, you guys can take the Drake. We're going to pressure the mid lane.
Feats, though?
They're not taking...
I think that's pretty even. I think this Drake or the Grubs might be the Feats take.
Yeah. It very, very well could be. At least for the side of KFC, since Doc's Doggies do not have a neutral objective yet. Wait. It's possible. I'm just looking at KFC have 4 grubs. It's possible they did 2 grubs, and never got a full grubs. Perky looking for the flank, looking for the Wukong ult, but a nice Q from TLG Talks is going to keep them locked up. Now TSM Baby Girl going in on the back line as Doc Respawn uses their CC powers. Ultimate is going to use here on to the jungler. Huge cannon flank. Aspera taking so much damage. Piglet going off, finding the silver bolts. Does find a condemn onto Billy Willard there. Takes out Vexrax on the back, and a nice E coming out from Billy Willard is going to leave the only 2 people alive are TSM Baby Girl and Boxier Squirrel. TSM Baby Girl has the higher levels, but Boxier Squirrel has the triple kill.
With a 954 gold shutdown on that Mordekaiser. That was a big chunk of gold.
Huge chunk of gold, still relatively even, all things considered. As Boxier Squirrel is not out of the woods yet. I was going to say, is doing this on a ward. TP coming out here from Big E 8003. And it does look like Doc's Doggies are going to be able to claim this dragon. Maybe, because here comes Perky, and here comes
I did not use Hex Gates. TLG Talks did not realize Hex Gates were up and lost a lot of ground.
Sometimes that's just what happens. As we are going to see TP now coming out here from Boxier Squirrel, and we get Dragon Fight Part 2! It does look like Doc's Doggies are just going to respect the forces and the resources committed there as we see the gold dead even. However, 3 Drakes for the side of Team Fried Chicken.
So, yep, that is Feats takes for KFC, and we see the Feats upgrade across the board. They all had the tier 2 boots already.
Yep. Tier 2 boots.
All right.
Hanging out. 36k to 36k. KFC.
Gold is incredibly even. Kills are incredibly even. Do you see either team eking out an advantage here?
I do think it's hard because Aphelios and Vayne are both very, very strong late it's It's so hard to say. I do think it just comes down to how it's played here in the late game. I think the Vayne is going to be increasingly a problem, but I feel like it's similar scaling here. Victor versus Aurora. Victor might have the edge there. Kennen versus Mordekaiser. No idea who has the edge there.
They just have such different purposes in team fights.
Yeah, so it feels like it's all down to how these interactions go in these fights over these mid to late game objectives. You do want to look out. I do think Perky is going to be... Well, I don't even know if I think that's true. Let's just say Perky, like, the jungler is going to be slightly less emphasized, and Perky has a good chunk of KFC's lead, but then Ton of Gold just went over to box your Squirrel as well, as it looks like they are going to be able to pick up this before Baron is ready to spawn, so they will have that Herald help them clear out some of these standing structures, as Otacon is alive here. In an even game, do not take Otacon. It is a huge bait.
Yes. Yes. The Otacon throw is real.
It's so real. If you've never experienced it hurts.
It does hurt. All right. So KFC does have Drake scaling, though.
Yes, they do have the Drakes on their side.
Hex Tech is not a shabby Drake to get by any means.
No, the only bad Drake I would say is Chemtech.
Well, they did buff it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did it do anything to its win rate?
I don't know. I didn't look into it because it didn't seem that consequential.
Yeah, poor Chemtech Drake. Kind of a cursed dragon.
It is.
Let's see, stats, Drake stats. Yeah. It's still
didn't do a damn thing.
It's still by far the lowest win rate. Drake, as we are going to see a little bit of a play here onto the Mordekaiser, trying to get down that damage before the Death Realm comes through. He's going to use now TLG Talk, going incredibly low, gets one more charge of the shield, charging up the Q, trying to escape, decimating smash, lands though, and Boxer Squirrel gets those stats, but TSM Baby Girl has a lot of burst damage, but Boxer Squirrel still so healthy, does manage to find the shutdown there, but on the back end, ADC and support are there. Billy Willard 1v1ing this gerbil, trying to do some pest control themselves, and they manage to reserve that desert ecosystem. Now Aspera gonna be able to take down with the help of Perky, TSM Baby Girl there on the bot side, and all of a sudden, 3 people are dead side of Doc's Doggies, and it looks like they're gonna take the Otacon.
That is a good time to take Otacon.
And as
I am surprised Vayne is not pushing mid.
Yeah, me too. They might have an item.
Maybe.
They only have 600 gold in pocket. As Billy Willard gets taken out there by Doc Respawn. I'm not 100% sure how that happened. In this low state, let's talk about Drakes, okay? Because I like knowing Drake Soul win rate stats, and I think everyone else should too. So, do you know the highest win rate Drake Soul?
Cloud.
Yes. 10 points.
It's always been Cloud.
It's always
like
Cloud.
Ridiculously Cloud.
Yes. 87% win rate if you have Cloud Soul. Do you know what second place is?
Is it Infernal? Or is it Hextech?
It is Hextech.
Okay, I knew Hextech was up there.
Yes, so second highest win rate Drake Soul on the map here for the side of KFC is up right now. Looks like teleport is going to be used so that they can contest. It has already started, I believe, though. TLG Talk's managing to find their way. Boxer Squirrel does have the Death Realm. Ultimate's up for everyone except Aphelios and Nautilus. So no Moonlight Vigil, no Depth Charge. They're going to be comfortable with the Vision as they get that mid-wave cleared out. They are going to start it up. It's dropping precipitously. They have to be careful here.
It is. There's a lot of damage on that
team. So
team.
strong, Big E cannot find the flank, and it is just going to be Hextech Soul given over to Team Fried Chicken. Yeah, Hextech Soul is second. Then it goes Mountain, interestingly enough.
Okay.
And then it goes Ocean. And then, actually, with only about a 1.1% lead over the Chemtech, Infernal.
Ooh.
Which is not what a lot of... Ooh, Perky finding a flank here onto Piglet, using the Cyclone, but not quite going to be able to find the knockup until much, much later, taking enough silver bolts there that is problematic. Boxier Squirrel finding their dueling partner here in TSM Baby Girl and getting the better of these 1v1s.
That was awesome.
So now we're going to see them...
Nobody going down, though.
No, everyone's still alive, but health
KFC...
bars...
Yeah, really showing dominance, taking that tier 2 mid down. 2k gold lead and that Hextech soul right now. They are able to position, take over this topside jungle, and get deep vision in preparation for probably a Baron take, would be my guess. Ooh, TLG Talks.
Getting sniped there.
Aphelios has their way. Nice play.
Yeah, I mean... The ADC for KFC does love this Aphelios. This Boxier Squirrel just diving turret onto the Kennen, saying, I have enough health, but do they? That's going to be maybe one turret shot too many coming out there. One more is going to do it, but does not land. Mordekaiser is able to stay alive, and now we're going to see KFC starting off this Baron. Perky's health bar, not the highest. TSM Baby Girl could have an effect here, but isn't going to risk walking up to that Baron pit. Baron going to go over to Team Fried Chicken. They've amassed themselves about a 4,000 gold lead here with their plays in the mid and late game. We're going to see Boxier Squirrel going 1v1 with Piglet here. Might be able to fight it. Gets the decimating smash off and flashes the mastery for good measure as Dr. Respawn not quite in time to save their 80 carry. Oof.
Piglet chased down that Mordekaiser across half the map and then bit off more than they could chew, allowing all those cooldowns to come up. Mordekaiser had the turnaround.
Yeah, lots of Boxier Squirrel lovers in the chat as we are going to see double TPs channeling here on the bot lane. TLG Talks taken very low as here comes TSM Baby Girl, but the instant Cyclone! And TSM Baby Girl is almost instantly deleted off of the map. Doc Respawn going in, trying to find some hope, but it's not going to be there. And now, 2 members dead. Well, 3, but Piglet will be up shortly, and they might push for the end. Perky going in. So much money, so much damage here on this Wukong. Going in, no fear on the Monkey King. Does take maybe one too many turret shots. Flash forward, Boxier Squirrel taking the Kennen. Or taking the... No, that was not the Kennen. That was the Vayne. Out for the count. They are going to find the kills under turret. Perky will fall. But KFC will clinch the win in this series. 2-1.
Fantastic games. Wonderful back and forth. That third game was particularly so close, and it really could have gone either way. But great closeout with KFC taking the series 2-1.
Yeah. Really? I mean, just...
Aphelios did damage.
Did Aphelios do damage?
Aphelios did do damage, and Aurora also did damage. And then Boxier Squirrel on that Mordekaiser did a disturbing amount of damage, and the fact that their opponent was Kennen and not a tank was even more disturbing for a top laner doing that much damage.
I don't have the... People can see my friends list, that's fine. We can put up the graphs for everyone to see. I bet everything on Tom Kenshin got rewarded, says Laura. Oh, man. Amen. I'm going to reach out, see if anyone from KFC wants to do a quick interview. And then we'll send you all somewhere. I don't know, Loki, if you have any ideas or want to generate some ideas of who we can raid when we're done here.
I'm bad at that.
Okay, bet. I can find someone, no worries.
Awesome. I mean, Critical Role is on, but that's about all I have.
I mean, I think that's probably a pretty good fit for our audience, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
But yeah, I always bet for odds. Whenever I bet in low budget,
I also bet for odds. Yeah,
I'm always odds, and sometimes that means you lose, but sometimes it means you win.
Sometimes you win big.
And boy, is that why gambling feels good.
Do not take this advice, children.
Gambling is a real and serious addiction. If you have trouble, there are gambling hotlines out there. Schmeckles.
And the fact it's been made so much more readily available, particularly with the online sports betting, is going to be interesting going forward.
Yeah, I don't fully understand how that's legal. But
I mean, what's the law now? It's not like we have a constitution for a reason.
Yeah. Who knows? In any case,
are we getting an interview?
Billy Willard will go, is what I'm hearing. Billy Willard wants to hop in community. Billy Willard, one of the people I am less familiar with. But very excited to get to know. I'm not trolling. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you saying he as in me, or he as in Vexrax? Because if it's Vexrax, I agree. Okay, alright. Listen. Open invitation to KFC if any of you want to come in here and talk a little bit about the Executive League. Yes, we have Vexrax gaslighting his team in Twitch chat.
That's the supporting we love to see. Just really pump up their team, make them feel very secure in their roles.
I'm just gonna abuse the ability that I'm in their Discord and go to their Discord and invite anyone from the KFC org to come interview. Doesn't matter if you played in this game. I just want to talk to someone with a pulse. That's all I want. That's all I need. You know?
We'll tell you what an amazing job you did, because the games were fantastic and we loved watching them.
They were so fun to watch. They were genuinely so fun to watch. It was a good time.
It was a very good time.
But if no one's gonna hop on in, give it another couple seconds. But I don't know. It's looking like we're just gonna roll it on over to whoever we're rating.
All alone? We're gonna have to end this by ourselves?
Play some little outro music. I'm sorry you can't hear it, Loki.
It's fine.
The way the cookie crumbles.
That's okay. I just hope that everybody has a wonderful evening. Remember to hydrate, sleep well tonight, and be good to yourselves.
And you want to take us out with your classic catchphrase that you always say?
Don't do dumb shit.